Here, what up, guys? I just got home. I just had a very long day. I've been up since 6 a.m. Here we go. Munchie B. Oh, shit. Ear. Hello.
You probably think a nigga bullshit. What you looking like tomorrow?
Oh, so by the way, I'm on live right now. So just to let you know. Well, are you free tomorrow at like 12 p.m. your time or 1 p.m.?
Yeah,
Later?
1 p.m. would be cool. What you chopping it up on live? What you talking about?
I haven't even picked the topic yet. I was going to just watch the Big U documentary and comment on it.
So the same prosecutor in this Big U thing is the same one from the Eric Carter shit?
Yeah, and they have it on the day that Nipsey Hussle passed away. So I think that's the narrative they're gonna push.
Hold on, what you mean the day he passed away? He passed away March 31st.
Yeah, and they were supposed to have the court date on that day, no?
Oh man, they doing too much trying to make everything like a line. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the interview with you and Young and Hefe. That shit was fire.
Oh yeah. No, we about to do that more consistently on everything. On everything. They fucking with it. It was going up.
Yeah. But you're gonna have to confirm with me in the morning because I'm not gonna get ready unless you confirm.
No. All right, I'll hit you the top of the morning and shit, or call me when you hop off log.
Okay, I will.
All
All right, bye. So yeah, I just got home. I've been awake since 6 a.m. I got a lot of shit done in the morning, and then I wanted to do the news, but I ended up doing it on the wrong channel. I have like my channel, the DamnHomie Show. Usually that's how we collab. Like he sends it from the official Prison Talk page to DamnHomie, and today I accidentally went on my other phone, and it was like I didn't. It was like my fucking just regular account that I don't have no followers on. So I was like, damn, I went on the wrong phone. But whatever. Still a good live. So I think I'm gonna have my cameraman start chopping up the news instead. So a lot of times we'll do an interview on live, and I had the idea to just start posting the same video, cut it up, make it nice and neat, and then post it on the page. But then I'm realizing all the views are already with the live. Like we're not gonna. So, I mean, that was a quick way just to get the page monetized. And, because we've been doing this, but I wasn't like going hard as I've been for the past month. So, and I still feel like I could go harder. But I always feel like that. So my thing is, how do I become one of those bitches that just do 100 things in one day? Bro, I don't know how you could work and still go shopping and still go out and still go to the clubs and then wake up hungover and do it again. I need to get to that place where I could just do it like it's nothing. And I've been meaning to go shopping. So just recently, like not even like a month ago, 2 months ago maybe, I bought like 3 pairs of sneakers because one of my sneakers started like kind of ripping from the back. Bro, and I'd be like working out my sneakers till they're like ripping because I'd be going like, I'd be doing too much in the gym. So they're already all ripped. So I had to just like make an emergency stop to Nike. And yo, by the way, I just want to say shout out to the men that you don't got to say shit to. They just do shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. Like shout out to the ones that just go, yo, you've been working hard. You in a bad mood? Go outside. The car's waiting for you. Thank you. Okay, so I needed some socks because, yo. So I always wear these type of socks. Look. And people always try to say I don't have socks on. I'm like, bro, I have socks on. Where to father? They're just like the little, like, what's this called? Ankle socks. You know what I'm talking about. So I had to buy some normal socks for sneakers. Okay, so I got that. Yo, tell me how I love black Air Forces. No lie, I've been wearing black Air Forces since, like, before it was cool. Like, since I was literally 16 or 17, I just always liked the black ones way better. If anything, I had the Uptowns always. Like, if you know me, you know I always had Jordans and just black Uptowns. And I always wore Echo Red, Baby Fat. Ooh, I used to have all the new Inichi. What was the other one that I was obsessed with? Mecca? No, what was it? It was like a few Rockaware. Yo, I wish I would have just kept all that clothes. I could have been doing skits in it now. I wish I would have kept my iPhone, like my first iPhone, or you know, my sidekick, bro. If I have my sidekick, I can't even tell you all the stuff I could be doing. But it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna have to just borrow Joseph's flip phone in these days. Okay. So I seen this black Air Forces boots, and they look so stupid. I'm like, I have to buy these. But I was like, nah, you know what? Like, what do I really need them for? A skit? Okay, so I could wear it for a skit, but now what do I do with them, you know? So I'm like, let me just get some black Air Forces. Yeah. And I asked her, I'm like, bro, because I bought like 5 pairs of shoes. I'm like, can you please not put the boxes? Because that shit makes it mad heavier. And then when I get home, it's like I have to pay my doorman to throw it out for me because I'm not going all the way downstairs to the recyclable thing. That's not happening. My doorman could do that for me. Mauricio's the best. He makes my life easy. I sound like such a white piece of shit saying that. Okay, so size 6.5 in women. Hey. I love these. Word to father, I really do love these sneakers. So, I wish I could rip this out. I'll do it later. Okay, so my favorites. And then I was like, I just need some really comfy running shoes because I bought these ones that looked super comfortable. They was mad expensive. And usually I don't like to actually go to a store and shop. I'm not like I don't like shopping. I never like shopping. I really prefer if I have to go to a store, I do this. I just go through all the aisles. If nothing catches my attention, I just leave. But if something catches my attention, I'm like, okay, let me get that in a small. I don't like trying things on. I just take it. And if it don't fit, it don't fit. There's nothing I could do. I give it away to one of my friends or something. But normally it fits because I know my body. So I was looking for some really comfy running shoes. And I seen these. These look super cute. These are my favorite color, green, because it's the color of weed. Okay, so I was like, let me just try these on. And I picked like 2 other pairs to try on. And then these fit so comfy. I was like, let me just get all of these in different colors. So I got them in green. It was pink and orange, white, and then, ooh, pink. Where is this? No, it's not the same. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need all 4. But when I tell you how comfy these are, yeah, this is who I am. I literally, as soon as I tried them on, I'm like, okay, let me just get all of these. She was like, what the hell? She probably thought I had a stolen card. And even though scam is life, I don't scam, sorry. And I think the reason she realized I wasn't scamming is because she's like, do you have an account? I'm like, yeah. And then when she see my account, she was like, oh, okay, never mind. If anything, this is like a light day for her. And yeah, honestly, because I don't like shopping. So it's like if I have to get sneakers, I'm not buying 1 pair. I'm buying enough so that I don't got to go for a while. Hopefully these will last me at least 6 months. But they are white. And you know, like I wear something one time. It's like I know how to ruin things so easily. So let's start putting the trash over here. But yeah, okay, so I've been wanting to watch this documentary because, yeah, but it's 3 hours long. And I was like, you know what? We're going to have to watch it eventually. And I keep seeing like people writing that Trap could get like libel sued for this because he said like one wrong word. And somebody said that the documentary got taken down. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, what? No, I haven't even watched it yet. God damn it. And no one else has done one yet. It's like, I tried to check like Swamp Stories and he hasn't done it yet. The last video he has is the Young Dolph shit. So yeah, we could watch it.
Take me out to the mountain.
Yo, so tell me how I used to have the no ad thing where you pay every month. But I feel like I was still catching ads. So I'm like, bro, fuck this. So I took it off. I'm like, I'm not going to keep paying to keep watching ads. Now I see 100,000 ads. So I might have to pay for this shit again.
Los Angeles has been notorious for its gangs. The original home to the Crips and Bloods that spread all over America. The gangsters that run the streets there have a dangerous level of power and influence. And the city's politics are not to be trifled with. When many celebrities and rappers come to Los Angeles, if they want to navigate the streets safely, they need to check in.
They have to have an experience before they realize
I should have checked in. You know what I mean? Or I should have called, or I should have been moving a certain way.
Checking in means to get in touch with a local gang, sometimes paying them for the privilege before arrival to ensure that you're safe in the streets there. It's part protection, part extortion, because for those who don't...
Yo, I'm so glad I'm a woman. For me, checking in is like, hi, I'm here. It's like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to hang out. I'm just letting you know I'm here.
Check in and pay the toll, they might just find themselves getting attacked by the very gangsters that they had a connection with. One of the most infamous advocates of checking in is Big U, real name Eugene Henley Jr. He's been accused of being the leader of the notorious Rollin 60s faction of the neighborhood Crips. And if you were planning to come to LA, you might have thought about checking in with him.
Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in, oh well. Just gonna check your ass out. We're gonna check you in, all right? We're gonna check it all of your...
See, if it's like some crackers, like, then I don't care. You know, like, it's not extortion. It's like they're coming to your neighborhood, they should pay. Like, you know, out of respect. Like, you're not really paying. It's not really extortion. You're looking out for the homies. There's nothing wrong with that. It's, if you don't, we do this, that's where it gets a little tricky. But I'm saying, I don't care if you do it to like some white people, but when you're doing it to your own people, and if they don't do what you say, then that's kind of like where I'm like, oh, I don't know, but my opinion don't really matter. I'm just saying.
He has ran the streets of LA for decades, doing double-digit stretches in the penitentiary and developing a feared reputation as one of the city's most connected gangsters. But to the public, Big U presents a different persona, one of a reformed ex-gangster turned community activist. He started developing Options, a community-focused non-profit organization with a mission to keep kids out of the streets. Part of the GRID program, Developing Options claims that their mission is to decrease gang activity and to empower the community to strive for a safer, thriving environment for our youth. Big U would solicit donations on behalf of his non-profit and seemingly put as much back into the community as he had taken, being seen doing food drives and providing equipment and workouts for the local youths to keep them out of trouble, even coaching and commissioning for the Crenshaw Rams youth football team. Clearly, Big U was such a supportive coach in football that his own son was actually drafted into the NFL for his home team, the LA Chargers, a connection that had him and his father rubbing shoulders with music's biggest celebrities like Drake. But according to a recent criminal complaint, beneath the surface, Big U's persona is much darker than he'd want you to think, because he's recently been accused of embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars from Developing Options, not just allegedly taking the money, but using the charity as a vehicle to extort famous rappers and athletes.
I feel like everybody uses a charity to extort a little or money launder a little. Everybody does that. Every charity, because it's like you're paying yourself. It's a nonprofit, but you're still making a profit because it's like you still got to pay your employees, right? So
Transferring the money
who's to say they're like, you're paying yourself too much?
He's accused of are only the tip of the iceberg, as the criminal complaint would reveal that Big U was heard in private conversations recorded on wiretaps, that he was the only gangster from his generation still having people killed, and that he was willing to murder anyone who disrespected him. And according to that criminal complaint, these weren't just threats, as Big U is accused of murdering one of his son's childhood friends, a former football prospect turned rapper who he had personally coached, with the indictment alleging that Big U
official
drove to Las
prison
Vegas
talk
on his
was
daughter's
good.
birthday to kill the young man for wasting studio time and recording a Big U diss song. As dark as this sounds, reading between the lines of the criminal
Yo, is that
complaint
Joseph or
suggests
Jay?
that this is just the tip of the iceberg, with other information hinting towards Big U having been connected to a number of high-profile murders in the hip-hop community, including Nipsey Hussle and Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab. The insane details about the double life of this notorious LA gangster might be news to some people, but in the Los Angeles podcast community, this has been an open secret for quite some time, with other street figures who have been around Big U jumping on the microphone and speculating on the eventual outcome of this street drama for years now. Podcasts which I too have appeared on myself numerous times, actually meeting several of the people involved.
10 out of 10 friends
Here
say
we go.
you have to go to that new place, which you have
I know, I'm about to
zero
have a
time
headache
for.
already.
In this
And
case,
it
over
hasn't
the
even
years,
started yet.
me right in the middle of the story.
What the fuck is that?
So I'm here to let you know.
This is my purse.
See how
My
it feels to
outfit.
really
I
be
love
in
my
front of the
outfit
people
today.
you
Just
talking
like my
about
favorite
being
outfit.
with.
No, I hear it.
It feel your I hear
He
your
does that all the time.
No, he don't. No, he don't.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Man, that dude get caught in certain places. He know it. He in certain places. How you get up and go to Chicago? Yeah, boy.
So today, I'm going to risk it all and tell you everything I know about the secret inner workings of LA's street politics. The podcasters that have predicted this crackdown for years, the streets that have known about it for decades, but in 2025, for the first time, the feds have revealed for the whole world to see bombshell allegations against Big U that triggered the downfall of LA's most notorious rolling 60s crip.
Dun, dun, dun.
Fast forward 6 months. Big U gets arrested. This is hypothetically for these acts.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, that interview becomes
Let me
completely
try it on
fair
again.
game, and it's an important historical record. And like we all have to look at it and say, "Oh my God, loose cannon! I'm so sorry. We all misjudged
So
you. You're a
happy.
fucking genius. You were telling the truth all the time."
So happy.
FBI says that South LA crime boss Eugene Big U Henley fronted
Hey,
a wide-ranging
IBM World,
mafia-like
what's
criminal
good? What's
enterprise.
good, fam? Yo, when we going live? We were supposed to go live. Yo, what's good? I know you're busy, but when we going live? When we going live?
Members of the Rolling 60s Crips charged in the federal complaint.
He has maintained the image of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture.
Justice for them.
When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in.
Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just get check it in. But if you don't check it in, oh well. Check your we gonna check you in, all right.
So you just refusing to pay your bill?
I'm just not gonna allow you to videotape me as I pay.
I was bagging my victims.
Closets,
Yeah, I was bagging
dark places.
everything behind me. You know, kidnapping people, prison, and all that stuff. I had a crew we used to kidnap. That's what we did. We had a crew called the Body Snatchers.
And investigators say that he painted himself as an entertainment executive who's been giving back to the community with various charities, but they say Henley is a violent criminal.
Boy, you is a... I'm telling you,
Sweetie.
you gotta stop! Funding a South LA-based charity, developing options. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer,
What the
a
hell?
thief, a liar.
Bro, who tight these? Not tight.
Justice for them.
Oh,
They don't really with
What
us
the fuck the phone
until it's a
sound?
problem. Then they call it. Like Quando Rondo.
Yo, I'm so glad you're my friend, because all your options go to jail, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
So I turn myself in.
I mean, all his ops are gang members, so eventually they do go to jail. I don't think Wack got anything to do with that.
Okay, so, ooh, that's bad work.
I'd be pissed if somebody said that to me. It's like, excuse me? Like, yeah, it's my fault. Everything's my fault.
It's the police, gang. I'm not talking about it. Didn't I tell you the dummy? Rewind.
Brownsville, baby girl.
To understand the predicament that Big U faces today, being accused of leading one of LA's most
It's
notorious
crazy.
gangs, we have to go all the way back to the start.
IBM World. Hey, it's crazy. I was just thinking about that today. Let's get it done tomorrow. Hey, let's do it tomorrow. Perfect. I'm good after, I'm assuming you're in LA. I'm good after 3 p.m. your time. So let's get it. I'm not even supposed to be working tomorrow. Today was supposed to be my day off. Tomorrow's supposed to be my day off, but fuck it. No days off. It is what it is.
To understand how these
You heard
gangs
me?
and Big U ended up running the streets of LA. Like many black families during the mid-1900s, Big U's parents
Who
were part
sounds
of the
scary,
so-called
Big U
Great
or
Migration,
Trap?
where African Americans moved from the southern states to the northern states to escape the Jim Crow laws and look for a better life. They were originally from Mississippi before making their way north to Chicago. In Chi-Town, Big U's father would allegedly get affiliated
Thank
with
you,
one of the
Blue
original
Strip
infamous gang leaders
Bandit.
and revolutionaries, Jeff Fort, co-founder of one of the earliest major black street gangs in America, the almighty Black Peace Stone Nation, cementing an early gang influence in the Henley family all the way back then. Big U's parents would ultimately get separated during their time in Chicago, and in 1966, his mother would move to Los Angeles shortly before his birth. The family settled in an area known as South Central, this being the area where most of the early black residents of LA would settle down. More
Just making
specifically,
sure
they would
these
stay
are
around
all
81st and
assigned.
Hoover.
Tell me how the last time I think, what was I buying? Was it McQueen's? Yeah, so I went into Saks or something, and I seen like a bunch of different McQueen's, and I was like, oh, they fire. I want all of them. And he was like, you want all of them? I'm like, yeah. So he packs them up. He forgot to take what's that thing that goes, as soon as you try to leave? I'm like, bro, how much money do you have to spend for these people to actually do like the right thing? And it's like some old white man. So I don't want to be mean, but it's like, bro, like if I'm spending that much money, the least you could do is like not leave a thing on. And the next day I was like calling them. I'm like, bro, like you really left the tag on my shoes? He was like, oh, come back in. I'll take it off. I'm like, motherfucker, you think I had nothing better to do than to come back to Ball Harbor? So I ended up just taking a knife and removing it myself. I was so pissed. I would have cut my sneaker. That's how much I didn't give a fuck in that moment. And I'm like, damn, I'm really about to fuck up like $600 shoes. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm not about to waste my time going back there. So, yo, and now I know how to remove things with a knife. I could just go and get some free shoes, but I'm not doing that. Too late for all
According to
that.
Big U, it was here
was
where
cool
he would
when I was
first
like
begin to
16.
rep the Crips, the gang which was founded in South Central around 1969, around 3
gotta
years
get my
after
nails
Big
done
U
like
was
ASAP.
born. Founded by Raymond Washington and Craig Craddock, the Crips then spread further west by Tukey Williams, who would found the West Side Crips.
Because in the area where we grew up at, we grew up over there, was already saying Crip, and was already saying Hoover, and it meant something different.
Big U had a very large family tree who would all move to LA, and the majority of them would eventually settle near Slauson and Arlington, to an area that would eventually become associated
got so
with the
nervous.
Rolling
I'm like, wait,
60s
did I
neighborhood
forget a
Crips.
pair?
But at the time, there would be earlier gangs.
We got here, the homies wasn't here yet. And then Van Ness Park didn't have no structure, nothing. And I think Bunt
Pluralsight Professional Services. Align tech learning directly to business priorities. Customize upskilling plans with subject matter experts. Plus, get built-in support. Pluralsight handles all. License distribution, user troubleshooting, and usage data analytics, so you can focus on team transformation. Learn more.
Big Bunchy was from Fruitown.
I'm only 9 minutes in.
So
Why
it
do
was
I feel like I'm an hour in
was
already?
in Van Ness Park. The 60s was on the verge of being formed, like it was just West Side Crips. And then it was West Side Crips and it was Neighborhood Crips. And the Neighborhood Crips was like down the line on the other side. Like on Van Ness, like more towards where eventually like the hood took over. It was Neighborhood Crips, West Side Crips.
This neighborhood is not only famous for being the home of the Rolling 60s, but also for being one of the main locations where the classic movie Boys in the Hood was filmed. Growing up, Big U would first become part of a small local clique from the immediate neighborhood called the AG, or Arlington Gang. Led by Big U's cousin, Chili Capone, the group would eventually merge as part of the larger Rolling 60s, who became infamous around the city of LA.
We was at every party, we was at every club, we knew where every function we was there. And it was funny because dudes would be like, where y'all from? And we like, we from the AG. They're like, man, what's that? We're like, man, it's the AG, man. They know what's that. Then it's like, well, where is that at?
We used to do ABG. Anybody get it?
And it's on Slauson and Arlington. Oh, well, y'all from the 60s. All right, fuck it, man. What is it, a problem? And then they would go from there.
Big U would get into trouble with the law from a young age, and already as a kid during the 70s, he claimed to have run with a car robbing crew, eventually getting sent to juvenile detention and spending a period of time on the run from whatever he'd done in LA and going back to live in Chicago with his father. But some
I should
years
probably
later,
ask Pablo Ross if I'm even allowed to react to this, or if he's going to violate me.
Would start between the Rolling 60s.
If he violates me, we could just squabble, I guess.
Crips. Sometime later during the early 80s, Big U's cousin and the leader of their AG clique, Chili Capone, would sadly be killed. Now, the more matured Big U would return to Los Angeles to seek vengeance, with Big U saying that at this time he graduated from fighting to guns, and he believed that a gun could get you anywhere you need to be in life. Standing at 6'2", Big U was an intimidating sight even without a gun, and he would still excel at fighting, which was the main way that the early gangs would settle their differences. One of the infamous places where this settling of scores would take place was at the World on Wheels skate rink, which was far away from the Rolling 60s hood, but where the members would nevertheless go to make their presence known. One particularly big brawl would make the Rolling 60s infamous throughout LA County took place on August 1986 during a Run DMC concert in the Long Beach area, where Rolling 60s would, according to Big U, attend purely to start a fight and establish their dominance. The fight would injure dozens of people and cause the LA Palladium to cancel Run DMC's next concert in fear of escalating gang tensions. During the 80s, the county jail would also become a familiar place for Big U, as he was racking up some pretty serious charges, which according to the criminal complaint, even included multiple first-degree murder charges and attempted murder of a peace officer, but it seemed that these charges back in these days would never stick. But his time in jail would also help him further spread his reputation as a fearless fighter and a charismatic leader. According to the FBI, it was during the 80s when Big U would rise to a prominent position in the Rolling 60s, earning a reputation of a violent enforcer who was willing to kill. One article about Big U stated that he became the lead man for the Rolling 60s and got shot 7 times in the process. And during this time in the late 80s, this was when the crack epidemic was beginning to reach its peak.
Today, there's a new epidemic. Smokable cocaine, otherwise known as crack. It is an explosively destructive and often lethal substance which is crushing its users. It is an uncontrolled fire.
Big U and the Rolling 60s would also partake in the lucrative drug trade. They would even begin to move dope from LA to other cities such as Minneapolis, Atlanta, and Chicago, where Big U would use his leadership skills to set up shops and take over street corners and influencing other out-of-state sets that banged under the banner of the Rolling 60 Crips too. This would also be a time when Big U would get his first experiences in the rap industry, as a rapper called Popper LQ would ask Big U to manage him, thinking that while Big U had no experience in the industry, he did have the qualities to be a manager and the respect of the streets. Big U's friend would also ask him to help managing a young, promising Rolling 60s rapper called Corrupt, who's now known for such West Coast classics as Seawalk and We Can Freak It, as well as being one half of the duo The Dog Pound with Daz Dillinger, the group founded by Snoop Dogg. Big U had also become a family man at this point, and according to himself, he was beginning to be one foot in and one foot out of the hustle game, but unfortunately for him, he would become wanted by the police. And in December 1991, he was arrested as part of a sting operation after attempting to rob 33 pounds of cocaine from an undercover agent, with Big U pulling a gun and attempting to rob the fake plug, leading to the cops that were watching.
What's worse, buying the drugs or robbing them? Because technically, I'm not giving you any money. I guess robbing's way worse.
Nearby to rush in and bust him. For this, he was given a monster sentence of 23 years, with news reports at the time describing him as...
The thing is, like, I don't know if he robbed him. I don't know if he, what if he just said, yo, I'm not giving you the money. Just hand it over. And they're going to make it like, oh, it's this big robbery. Or he could have really did something to him. I don't know. I'm always looking at every...
Rolling 60s.
What
this
could have
during
happened.
Much of the golden years of hip-hop,
I could never
Big
be a
U was
jury.
behind bars, but he would spend his time inside,
They would not want me.
to develop his skills as a fighter.
Everyone deserves a second chance. Get rid of her.
Apparently knocked somebody's
No, we don't need her.
out of their socket during a prison fight. Photos of Big U behind bars would circulate online as the years went by. During a Breakfast Club interview, Big U would even say that he was running the drug trade in the prison yard during this time.
Because I basically took over the whole little drug trade on the yard. Because I had money. So I came.
This week, we're hosting a free trading and investing workshop right here in Fort Lauderdale. Inside the...
And I bought all the gold.
Yo, the rules are really changing. What is telling? Because if telling on yourself, is that telling? Or is that just, I don't know.
Who was bringing in.
But when he wasn't squabbling or selling drugs, apparently he was knuckling down and trying to also find positive influences behind the wall. During his long stint inside, he would meet people who would inspire him to evolve intellectually, such as Michael Harry O. Harris, a powerful LA figure who allegedly played a key role in helping Suge Knight found Death Row Records, and also played a part in the career of Denzel Washington. As a result, Big U would begin to read and write, as well as studying subjects like theology, as he would later recount.
So you're in Houston, you're an hour behind me. So what time is it now? It's like 8 p.m. your time? Okay.
Meanwhile, on the outside, Corrupt would keep Big U's name alive in his music, shouting him out in songs like one of his biggest hits, We Can Freak It. Big U would also keep losing people close to him to the streets while he was inside, like his brother Dwayne Dupree, who worked as a bodyguard for the Dog Pound duo of Corrupt and Daz Dillinger, and was sadly killed as gunmen opened fire outside of a recording studio. But Big U would eventually end up only doing 13 years in prison, getting out in 2004 at 37 years old. Conveniently, right as the Rolling 60s had become, quote, the largest black criminal street gang in the city of Los Angeles. However, Big U wouldn't lose sight of those positive influences that he had gleaned behind bars, and he decided to reinvent himself as a community advocate, starting his non-profit called Developing Options. Their website would claim that Big U started the organization because he wanted to provide the youth of his neighborhood the support that he didn't get when he was growing up. In 2025, the program claimed to have served over 6,000 people while having partnerships with hundreds of agencies. The website even boasts a 90% reduction in community gang violence, and the program has some major supporters, such as perhaps the most famous crip in the world, Snoop Dogg. But Big U would also keep building his career in the music industry. After getting released, Corrupt would introduce him to the head of Death Row.
I didn't even know who Big U was. Like, I thought Snoop was the biggest crip. I didn't know, like... And then the only time I found out who Big U was actually was when I was at World Star. He got his own show. And it was around... I think it was right after I had my own show on Live. And then when they finally got the money for production, they chose to give it to... They made a show called Big U Checking In on World Star. He actually had some great guests on there because he could get whoever he wants. And my show, it was all like Instagram comedians. And then after that, instead of giving me the budget for the next show, they gave it to DJ Drewski. And I'm like, damn, it's a hip hop website and y'all gonna pick a white DJ out of all the DJs that are out there? And that's why they're failing, because they're stupid.
the record Suge Knight, who would help Big U financially to get back on his feet and take him under his wing as a mentor. The two became, without a doubt, the most respected, or at least the most feared duo that the hip-hop industry had ever seen. But Big U's ferocious attitude to the music industry would mirror Suge's approach. Unfortunately, this meant that for the artists that entered Big U's orbit, some would have runaway success, but others would seemingly suffer sudden and tragic downfalls, which of course brings us to the tragic story of Nipsey Hussle.
Damn.
After getting out of prison, notorious Rollin' 60s neighborhood crip Big U would learn how to play hardball in the music industry from none other than Suge Knight. The infamous blood who had ruled the West Coast rap game with an iron fist was rumored to have used murder and extortion tactic to get ahead in the music biz. From his violent altercations in the lead up to the death of NWA's Eazy-E to the rumored incident where Vanilla Ice was allegedly dangled off a balcony and forced to sign over his lucrative royalties, eventually though, the law and his enemies would catch up with Suge Knight's hardline tactics and crack down on his operation. But by the time Suge Knight's downfall had begun, Big U was already in the game and decided to spread his wings and do his own thing. Apparently, whilst inside prison, Big U, along with his right-hand man, Mark Martin, aka Bear Claw, founded an independent record label, Unique Music, in 1996. Big U would use the label to scout potential up-and-coming musical talent, and his deep street connections would lead him to the paths of some of LA's most legendary rappers. It turned out that Big U's nephew actually knew a young, talented Rollin' 60s rapper who went by the name Nipsey Hussle. Big U would begin to help Nipsey using his many industry contacts, ultimately landing him a major spotlight with a verse on Tupac's 2006.
Check out the new whip. Tight. How many Bud Lights can you fit in that puppy? As many Bud Lights as it takes.
Posthumous album, Pac's Life. Nip featured with Young Dre and Tupac himself on the song International, which gave Nipsey's career a massive boost.
Him and Big Drums put that together, and LT Hutton. They really had a resume at that time to justify it, but he gave me a shot. And a lot of that was based on the relationship he had with Draws and Steve.
And I remember buying the physical CD, seeing Tupac featuring Nipsey Hussle on the back of it. That was huge for me.
Big U
Bro, I need to fix my Open Table. Okay, so Open Table is an app where you could just make reservations instead of having to call the restaurant, because who the fuck wants to call and speak to somebody? Like, I'll always go out of my way to not have to talk to somebody if I don't have to. So I used to make reservations, and sometimes I wouldn't go because, let's say, I'm like, ooh, I'd rather go here. So they like banned me. So I had to get a whole new phone. I downloaded the app, and then I'm trying not to do that on the new app. The problem is I keep forgetting to bring my phone with me to places where I really need it. It's like, I don't even need the extra phone until all right. Even yesterday, I had a man sending me pictures of him in a thong, and I couldn't even take a screenshot because, you know, like in the DM, even if you try to screen record it, it's not going to let you. So I usually have my other phone on me, and I record everything. If a guy sends me anything, whether it's photos, videos, and I don't like doing this, but you have no choice nowadays. Everybody's going to lie on you. So if you're a woman in this industry, your best bet is to literally record every conversation. So you have to have that. You know what I mean? Yo, you know who? It was the 60s member, Blue Stew, the one that had a put off because he put a bottle up his ass and then sucked on it like it was like, So him, he's been talking about wanting me to interview him. So we was gonna I want to let J Hood do it first, and he not trying to talk to J Hood because of some politics, and I'm like, but you had a put off, you're a civilian, what do you care? But nobody wants to hear that. Even if a guy did have a put off, no one wants to hear like you're a civilian if you're from somewhere. So, but I'm like, how did they still let you claim the 60s if you had a put off and you had a bottle in your ass and it's on video? But he said he was on meth. But I've seen people on meth before, and I've never seen them like wanting something up their ass. But then again, I never asked if they did. I don't know. Basically, what was I saying before that? But yeah, nowadays, if there's one thing I learned is record every conversation, because I'm telling you, you're gonna need it. If you don't, delete it later. You know what I mean? But I promise you're gonna need it. Same thing with the last beef I had, bro. Everyone was believing the other person until I showed the recording. The minute I showed the recording, everybody knew I wasn't lying. I let the man lie for months. I let him lie for a little bit, you know, like just because I want you to look like a liar. And then when I put the truth out, he was like, it's AI. Bro, if I knew how to do AI that good, I would be working for the fucking government. I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing now. I promise you. Ara! Hey, boo. What are you doing? I was supposed to see Ara yesterday. I had Little Pump's manager. He was with AB. Yeah, because they were shooting a music video yesterday. And that's actually my manager, too. And he was like, oh, you trying to come on a yacht? I was like, yeah, no. I'm like, I hate the fact that it's like you're kind of stuck in the water. You don't come back for a while. I was supposed to stream, but got canceled. Okay. Oh, so you're calling me to make plans? I thought you were calling me with already made plans. Like, bro, don't call me to make plans. Nah. I actually love this girl. This like one of the few girls in Miami I love. I was supposed to stream, but I got canceled. What you trying to do? Yo, I've been in a good mood lately. I was like, what's that? Oh. Anyway. What was I saying? Basically, nowadays you have to record everything just in case. It's like, I'm not saying it's right, but hey, a lot of things ain't right. A lot of things are wrong.
Reposted a clip from a diverse mentality documentary on Nipsey, along with a caption saying that it was an honor to give him the shot. Big U was playing a major role in Nipsey's come-up, leading Nipsey to drop his first real single and music video titled Bullets Ain't Got No Names in 2006. Nipsey would get support from Big U through the creation of
Don't mess it up for everybody else, you know what I mean?
Mixtape series. But story has it that Nipsey wanted to leave a bad deal that he got into with Big U's unique label.
So I signed into it. It was signed to a 10-year production contract.
10 years?
2009, which would end 2019.
I mean, listen. Would I sign something for 10 years? I feel, for me, a year is a long time. Anytime I sign a contract for a year, I'm like, even recently, I got paid $10,000 to $11,000, actually. I remember my negotiation was like, I wanted 10. So I started at 15. I knew we was going to land somewhere, but we ended up landing at 11. I would have been happy with 10. Because originally they wanted to give me 7 to put a link under my OF in my bio and leave it there for 6 months. And I was nervous to get into that contract. And it's only a 6-month contract. So imagine if, you know what I mean? I had to sign a 10-year contract with that company. I don't know. I wouldn't do it because the 6 months have been up. And I'm nervous to take it out of my bio. But I think on my birthday, I'm going to take my bio out and just put the YouTube link. And it's OF is over. That's it. This is the last year. Just because I'm already tired of it.
Big U, on the other hand, has explained in the Drink Champs podcast that he stopped managing Nipsey after a promotional tour when police discovered drugs in one of their vehicles. And although someone would take the charges,
guys, double tap the screen and send this to 3 friends.
Big U, which he interpreted as a breakdown in trust.
Radiator cap off, took the apart, stuck us in, I can't remember where we was for 3 days. They took the and scanned it from the router to the tutor, found what they wanted on it, put it back together, gave it to us. I flew back home. When I fly home, we get hit. I get hit at home. They had 21 people. They think they got him. Anyway, make a long story short, he ended up turning himself in, take the case off all of us. He get life, right, for the drugs. When that happened, my team is acting weird. So I'm looking at Steve, I'm looking at Nip. Man, get a paperwork from Sony so they can see that we leased.
Did you know that you can have permanent
Can
teeth
you
in
imagine?
just 24 hours? That's right. Only 24 hours and your new smile is ready. And with
Bro, if I get life, let me at least kill 5 people, please.
So, me, I'm still kind of like, hey, I'm hot,
Shit.
heavy, but
I'm doing life for your drugs?
I can't with y'all. So you never see me
Imagine.
on tour no more.
And that's when the problem.
No problem never happened. We didn't have a problem.
Okay.
When nobody making no money.
Right.
But particularly after Big U's arrest, many have theorized that it may have been Big U who was using Nipsey's tours as a cover to smuggle drugs to different cities, and this was possibly making Nipsey nervous and looking for ways out.
I think Big U was using the tour bus, Nipsey's tour bus.
Who's this white man? I keep seeing it's like he's like a lawyer. But he's really annoying to look at, but he has good information, but I just can't, I can't look at him. His face annoys me.
possibly do drug drop.
What am I double tapping? I did the screen, but nothing's happening. Okay, give me a like then.
Making Nipsey hot. He was
I guess the
seeing
double
himself
tap
about
only
to
works
take
when you're
off
on your
and wanted
phone.
No parts.
Whatever the case, after the two stopped working together,
Why would I join forces with a peon? I don't get it. It's like if I've already defeated you, clearly you're not on my same level.
You wanted back some of his studio.
A human
equipment, so his
trafficker
son
could never
also
be on my
used them
same
to record
level.
music, something
You're not
which
even doing it
apparently
right,
angered
bro.
Nipsey.
If you're gonna pimp correctly,
They got upset, and he made the song.
tap the thumb.
It never came out.
It did come out.
It did come out?
It did come out. It wasn't never pushed as a song, but it came out. And I mean, I don't rap, I scrap.
Disagreements would lead to Nipsey making a diss song about Big U, a song titled You Don't Got a Clue from his 2010 mixtape The Marathon, where Nipsey got some things off his chest, rapping how somebody, likely Big U, doesn't have a clue about what they want to do for Nip's career, saying that he's not going to stop for them and that he doesn't want somebody controlling him, rapping how he came up tough, so he was never looking at Big U for a solution to his problems, and suggesting that his former team never really helped him push his career forward. Nip would rap F the middleman, and he would end
Okay,
his...
then just give me a like and then send it to your best friend. Only your best friend. Not your
don't
enemy.
expect any favors from him because he wasn't given any favors. According to Loose Cannon, who's probably not the most reliable narrator, Big U would confront Nipsey about the track and challenge him to a fight, where Nipsey would then supposedly move and dance around Big U so fast that he would leave him exhausted, almost like a scene from an old school action comedy.
And he was like, hey, cuz, is this song about me? So Nipsey stood up or whatever and was like, yeah, cuz it's about you. So he was drinking some water out of a water bottle, and he threw it on Nipsey, right? He was like, we're gonna have to go get down, or whatever. So he thought Nipsey was gonna back down. Nipsey stood
Yo,
up.
shout out to Loose Cannon, free Loose Cannon. Shout out to Sharice Mills. Yo, I find it crazy though that everyone's trying to say he's the fake Loose Cannon, but it's like, but he's been around. Clearly, he's been around these people. So it's like everyone's named after someone else. So that makes no sense to me. People
It was
saying
like,
that.
okay, cuz, let's go get down. They were just dancing around or whatever like that. He was trying to get Nipsey or whatever, but Nipsey was just moving, dancing and stuff like that. And he couldn't hit Nipsey, so he got tired. So he knew he didn't get Nipsey the way he wanted to get Nipsey, right?
An unsatisfied Big U then allegedly got the whole gang involved, calling Nipsey up to
Hey,
get
what up,
disciplined
live
and
feed?
allegedly beating him up before Black Sam fired into the air, stopping the fight, leading to police being called and breaking things up. Whack 100 would later claim that Big U actually knocked Nipsey Hussle out during their fight.
First time they first fall out, when they first got Nipsey signed, Nipsey come back, was fall out. They went down, there was a fight, rumble happened. I believe Big U knocked Nipsey out. Black Sam comes out, fires 3-4 shots in the air. He's fresh out the penitentiary. Police sitting right across the street, they see it. They come in, they arrest everybody. Black Sam's on parole.
Now, there's some conflicting reasons circulating for this exact fight. It's been rumored that Nipsey Hussle has a daughter by a mother that was allegedly Big U's
What's
niece,
good,
or
Burr?
at least a
Pepto
close family
G,
friend. There
what's
was allegedly an
good?
incident circulating
Send this
in a
live to your
Reddit
best
post
friend
where it
right
was claimed
now.
that Nipsey
Your two
actually beat
favorite
up
people in
another
this
man who
world.
had been
Send it to
dating his
them.
baby's mother after they split up, with Nip administering
And tell
this
them, watch
beatdown
my
because the
favorite
man was
person.
So Florida probably just did the coolest thing I've seen any state do in a while. So if you live in a Florida zip code and you're a resident here,
apparently creating an unsafe environment for their daughter, with it being believed that the woman might have even got harmed herself in the scuffle, leading Big U to be furious at Nipsey. Ultimately, though, Nipsey and Big U would eventually squash their beef and didn't have any more public animosity in the years that followed.
No, men
But
can
Nipsey's
fight
brother,
and then be
Black
best
Sam,
friends after.
seemingly always
Women,
had
if
an
we
issue with
fight,
Big U.
I never,
Apparently, this
bitch,
was
I'll kill you
reciprocated.
next time I see you.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Me and his brother wasn't cool. Me and his brother weren't the best of friends. You gotta understand, like I'm gonna have friends that my mama ain't gonna like. I'm gonna have friends that my brother's not gonna like.
If my dad don't like you, I'm getting the hell away from you. Are you crazy?
60s gang
Bro,
prize would be the
yo, if you're watching this, if your parents ever tell you to if your mom tells you she don't like someone, get away from them right then and there. I'm telling you, my biggest mistake was not listening to my father sooner. If he says something, like, I don't trust that girl, she's jealous of you. And I used to always think, she's not jealous. Why would she be jealous of me? Like, I really was thinking, like, if you're a pretty girl, you have things going for yourself, why would you be jealous of anyone? I didn't know how women were yet. Bro, I wish I would have listened to my father. Ooh. That bitch caught it, don't worry.
Throughout his career to the very end. A planned private performance in 2010 saw a massive bust on the Rolling 60s members that he was affiliating with.
People under arrest after police raid a nightclub where dozens of members of an LA street gang were partying.
Police received information that gang members of the Rolling 60s, a violent South LA gang, would be holding a private party here at the Platinum Club here in Studio City. So they decided it would be a good time to do a gang sweep. Now take a look. It all went down around 2 in the morning. The Platinum Club was surrounded by dozens of officers. They arrested about 40 people they say are gang members of the gang Rolling 60s. Officers say they learned of the so-called hood party several days before the big event. Now, outside of the club, the marquee had a sign there that said who was headlining the party. They are Nipsey Hussle and Deal Makers International. You can also see the number 6x10. Now, police say that was the secret Rolling 60s gang sign. An officer from North Hollywood was the first to approach the front door of the club, and he says that he was rushed by a group of people inside the club. He calls for help, and officers from all areas respond.
Yo, Ara just said, do you want to just go to AB's house and make TikToks? I'm like, yeah, but is he going to think we're there for a threesome? Like, just come over and bring a thong. We'll do some.
Now, officers say this gang sweep
will they're doing TikToks.
The illegal activities of the Rolling 60s gang, at least for a while.
As time went on, Nipsey...
I'm about to hit my manager. First of all, my manager knows I don't like doing TikTok. And when I say manager, that's my homie. Like, I that's crazy. Oh, wow. You down to come by? People are funny.
Pluralsight Professional Services.
Wow.
Align tech learning directly to business priorities. Customize.
This video is
would do more things that reportedly angered Big U, like
because I'm like, wait,
bringing Treetop Pyru rapper White.
I'm one of those people, like, I'm not going, but I still like to get invited. So they're doing TikToks, but it's like my manager didn't let me know today, but I know why. I think because my enemy's over there, but that's the thing. So nowadays, this is how females beef in LA, apparently. So let's say there's a big party and 2 girls are beefing. Girls will literally tell the guy, don't invite her. Or if you're already invited, they uninvite you. They'll literally call you and be like, hey, like, you can't come anymore because this girl's going to be there. So everyone, well, my close people know I'm beefing with this one girl who I used to be really good friends with. But I've never said don't invite her if I'm going. I've never said that. It's more like if she's there, I'm just not going to speak to her. And if she tries to speak to me, it's not going to end well. Just don't speak to me. I'm not going to speak to you. But I'm not the type to be like, oh, yeah, don't invite her. But is she the type to say, don't invite Maya? Yeah, I've seen her uninvite a few girls. My thing is like, bitch, you could suck dick. I wasn't going to suck dick anyway, so it's like, I get it, you know? But for my manager to do that, it's like, you're still supposed to invite me and wait for me to say, no, I'm not going. Don't fucking not invite me. Just because my enemy's there. I don't care. Let that bitch be there.
G to the Rolling 60s hood for the music video for the song Stitches Ain't Bit in 2011. Apparently Nipsey had to fight multiple Rolling 60s after this perceived violation, but this didn't stop his role, and later Nipsey would even return the favor, attending YG's hood to film the music video for I'm a Thug that featured Meek Mill. This was a video that ironically had footage of fellow Rolling 60 Brick Baby getting arrested. But anyway, as Nip's career grew, it seemed that Big U's stance towards Nipsey had softened, and he was showing him respect publicly, with Big U being seen doing a speech in Nipsey's honor in 2018 during an event for his Developing Options non-profit, where rap heavyweights like T.I. and Wiz Khalifa were also in attendance.
Look who came through. Yeah, you know, I got my all black on, man. You know, red black everything. Steve Maniac Lil Bill, A1 right here, you know. Big U, what up, baby? Big U and Lil Bill. For sure. You need that. Yeah, that's legendary. Woo! Remember that. He did what no other rappers do today. He sold his own music. He sold his own music. So when I came along and Steve came along, we had a formula that merged with what he do, but he outworked any artist I've seen.
It has been 3 weeks since Peregrine installed a whole home water filtration system in my house, and here are some things that I've noticed.
I'm talking about business-wise.
I'm not talking about on the mic. Because if you notice, this man is a more professional than 90% of the dudes who are trying to grow to his level. But I'm saying that to all young ladies. To a T. He out.
IBM Hoodlum. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But nah, let's do the live tomorrow. For real, for real.
A whole lot of people.
Oh, that was getting
why we are giving him the award, the Businessman Award, because he really exudes everything that you need.
I have that AC where it works by memory. So basically, let's say like around this time, I usually keep it colder. It does it by memory. But even if right now I want to make it warmer, it's not going to listen to me because it goes off of what I usually like. And I don't like that because it's like, bro, when I first moved in here, it wasn't a housewarming. It was more like a Christmas party. Okay, so all the girls, we had plans on Christmas. It's all my married friends that live here. I'm the only not married one because I got too much to lose. And they were like, oh, let's go. We was going to go to this one restaurant. I think it was Gecko. And we had to, yeah. So we made the reservations like a month ahead of time because it's Christmas, right? The day of, they canceled our reservation. No, they didn't cancel. They told us that we were going to have to sit outside. They don't have any tables inside. Mind you, this restaurant is, we would have paid like $400 each, just like, and it's nothing but girls. So it's like, bro, for the amount of money we're paying, you're not going to make us sit outside. And this is during a time where it was really cold in Miami. Yeah, it was either cold or it was it was cold, yeah, because around December it gets like cold. When I say cold, like 50, but bro, nobody wants to sit outside. So everyone was like, damn, this is horrible. The night's ruined. And I was like, why don't we just do it in my house? So all the girls decided to just cook and come over my crib and we just like throw a party here. So it was all the girls and yo, we had mad fun. We was like making videos and making TikToks and just like twerking and playing music, getting drunk. And this is around the time where I used to have all my bottles of tequila. So I had like the nicest tequila. The thing is, yeah, I'm gonna drink the good tequila. As soon as the bottle is done, let's say it's a bottle of like 1942, I'm gonna take 1800 and I'm gonna pour it in the good bottle. You know what I mean? Because I still want to have like a nice bottle there. And plus, this is a trick I've done. A lot of my friends copied this, right? So you take, let's say 1942, after you're done drinking it, take 1800, fill it back up and leave it. And see, when people come to your house and you let them make their own drinks, which bottle do they go for? Because listen, if it was me and I'm coming to your house and you tell me, oh, make yourself a drink, I'm not going to go for your most expensive tequila, right? Or your liquor or whatever. I'm going to go for something medium. I'm not going to go for the Patron, but I might go for the Casamigos. I might go for Don Julio, but not the like 1942. First of all, that bottle, I feel like they make it like that on purpose. If I pour the whole thing out, it's probably not even that much tequila. It's probably a cup of tequila for $200. And that shit's nasty. But nowhere near as nasty as the Azul. I'm like, I'm not going. Okay, so yeah, so literally you got to see like which bottle they go for. And that's what made me start disliking one of my friend's husbands. Cause I'm like, damn, he literally poured my whole bottle out. Like, bro. And the way this happened, the guys were never supposed to come over. Guys were having guys night and girls are having girls night, right? But then by the end of the night, everybody's pissed drunk. And that's one thing I hate about myself is when I drink, no one could keep up with me. Like I've had a lot of my friends get carried out of my apartment. One of my friends, oh my God. She ended up, she threw up in the bathtub. She literally laid in the bathtub and threw up. But it's like, bro, don't try to keep up with me. Cause I could take 3 shots in a row and be like, I'm good. And then that's when they start being like, once I see one of my friends being like, doing one of these, like, that's when I know, oh shit, that's crazy. Cause it don't hit me like that. Like, I don't know, maybe my tolerance is just high. My other friend, she got so drunk, I had to walk her to her house, like to her door. Cause she was not gonna make it. So this night everybody's drunk, but especially Stasia. And I love Stasia. I've known Stasia for a long time. And she told me, you know, she was just like drunk, so her man had to come get her. So this way, all the guys decided to come get their wives because they figured, oh, they're all gonna have to get carried out. No, only 2 out of the 5 actually had to get carried out. The other 3 were drunk, but they were able to walk. But the point I'm making is, Stasia was so drunk, she ended up making my house so cold. I think the coldest it gets is what, 59? And she left it on there for like an hour, but we're so drunk. You know, you're getting hot. You don't even notice how cold it is because you're hot. Because the liquor is keeping me hot. So as soon as they leave, I try to put the temperature back to normal, like a 72. Yo, it wasn't moving. Like it was like stuck. And for a week, my apartment was at like 61 or 62. Like it was so cold. I literally was like, I don't even want to be here, bro. Like you have to literally... So I hate whatever it's called. It's a nest temperature thing. I don't like it. So I don't know why I had to go into like a whole story, but it makes sense in my mind. I hate when people say, but you're Russian. It's like, just because I'm Russian don't mean I was meant to be in the cold. Like, there's a reason I left. If I like cold, I'd still be there, correct?
I came to his house, and he lived in all places in A-Tray neighborhood. And he really had a mic in his closet and was recording his own self. Remember that.
And at one point, Big U would even crip walk
yeah,
on stage.
facts,
And Nipsey
Joseph.
would in return honor Big U in his speech, saying how everybody in the hood saw him as a leader.
And see what that turned into, and putting pressure on us to just stay focused. You know, standing in front of us as young dudes from the area. And always, I remember, like, you know, it's not going to be one room I walk into that my homeboys can't walk into with me. And I always respected and looked up to him as a leader.
Oh, wait, Joseph's telling me open the app. Why? He's writing again? There's no fucking way. No one's that bored, bro. Nobody's that bored. Is he? Let's see. OG. Wait, it's this phone. Okay. Let's see. Blue Stew. Who's this? Oh my God. Oh. Hello. Miss call. It's me, boss lady. Missed call. Please, boss lady, my word. Missed call. Answer. Missed call. I hung up by accident. Missed call. Wrong person, my bad. How do you call the wrong person 45 times? But okay. I was looking for my girl, DamnHomie 12. Tell her DM me if you can. Tell her I'm ready. Who the hell is DamnHomie 12? Anyway. Then I'm gone. My bad for blowing up. I thought it was her goofy ass. Tell DamnHomie ready right now. Question mark. Like, bro.
I love to see everybody out here tonight dressed up, looking good. Right now, I think we got to give him a round of applause as well. And like I said, I love you, bro. We're going to keep pushing. Day one. Thank y'all.
Nipsey was having massive...
Oh.
Hey, babe. Just saw your answer.
They were saying my tolerance. Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know, because all my friends are Russian, so why can't... They're the ones getting carried out. These are other Russian girls. So all the girls that live in my building, they're all Russian girls I grew up with. That was in my neighborhood. Not particularly... We didn't really chill like that growing up because I didn't hang out with Russian people like that. I knew a few Russians in my neighborhood, but we never really hung out. But then as we got older, it's like, you know...
Come his phone. He wasn't gonna shave anyway. I wasn't, but I was gonna change my shirt though. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? But I'm working. We will let y'all hear some music, but you gotta wait to pay for it. Ain't no free no more. It's coming. And you ain't downloading it, we're gonna put a tag. If you steal the music,
You up.
coming to your house and putting that
Car wash where you got your tent set up. We gonna beat you.
But in March 2019, Nipsey allegedly angered Big U once again by bringing DJ Khaled to the 60s hood and not asking permission. They were there to shoot a music video for Khaled's song Higher that featured Nipsey and John Legend. Allegedly, Big U sent Rollin 60s members to the shoot to cause trouble, causing Nipsey and Khaled to have to finish the shoot in a parking lot. TMZ, on the other hand, claimed from their sources at the video shoot that Nipsey had seemingly received threats on his life before the shoot had even taken place, and that he was apparently prepared with an exceptionally large security team. They would also claim that it was actually during the filming at the parking structure in Inglewood where Nipsey's team were concerned.
I don't know, because if it was me, no, I can't. Like, if I say you're good, it's like you're giving me this big opportunity. But Khaled seems like he would have came off with a little bit of money. Like, if I would have been like, listen, I appreciate you for being here, but you're going to have to hit my big homie off. Just not a lot. Like, a little 50, like a little 40, I don't know, a little 35, something. Like, bro, just... do you want... No, I would have presented it like, hey, do you want security while you're here? I got the best security. You don't need these security. Like, I got the guys. Like, yo, we gonna have to hit him off a little bit. Hit the big homie off. He got you. Something like that. I don't know. I feel like Khaled would have paid. Like, because from what I hear, like, you do a song with Khaled. He's like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to shoot the music video? Dubai? Let's go to Dubai. Let's get the private planes. Like, he tricking on these men. So it's like, let him trick on you.
About somebody in the local Bloods coming to kill him. Some people online would also claim that Big U was actually cool with Nipsey at this time, but it was really a bunch of younger Rolling 60s members that just wanted to rob DJ Khaled, causing trouble, with there also being reports of some
shit. Who doesn't want to rob him? No, I'm kidding. We don't do that
Nipsey's
here.
brother Black Sam would later seemingly confirm that someone had indeed pressed them at the video shoot, but wouldn't specify exactly who it was.
Not to get into too much detail, but there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hussle had DJ Khaled in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on it, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, we're going to know we're going to crash out behind it. We're not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hussle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
But whatever the case, only a few days later, Nipsey would tragically be gunned down in front of his Marathon clothing store in the Rollin 60s hood, less than a mile away from Big U's childhood stomping grounds on Arlington Avenue.
Just a few days later?
Wait. Speaking too much on it, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, we're going to know we
Damn, so he never even really had a chance
we're not playing.
to, like, do everything he was supposed to do. That's
nobody
crazy.
Doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hussle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
But whatever the case, only a few days later, Nipsey would tragically be gunned down in front of his Marathon clothing store in the Rollin 60s hood, less than a mile away from Big U's childhood stomping grounds on Arlington Avenue. Nipsey was gunned down by a man named Eric Holder, known as...
Wait, do y'all remember that day? I don't know why, because there's so many deaths that came after that, and it never affected people like the way that day was shocking. I think because right before that, I seen a video of him slapping somebody, and it was like he was going viral like every week. And then out of nowhere, it's like he's going viral because he just passed away. Yo, that day was so bad. Everybody like stopped. Like it was the one day where it's like, you know, someone else dies, like the day still goes on. People are still posting other things. That was the one day where people just wasn't posting nothing but that. Yo, it was like everybody was in complete shock. Everybody was sad. It was people not even from LA, like everywhere. People were, I'll never forget that day.
Because a fellow member of the Rollin 60s was allegedly mad at Nipsey for accusing him of being a snitch. Eric Holder
Yo, I know I can't forget that day because that's when my ex, the one I was with for 4 years, the rapper, he just landed in this private jet, and literally, as soon as he got like he called me as soon as he lands, and I was like, bro, did you hear? And that like I was like the first phone call he made as soon as he heard that happened.
Old close friend of one of the other names mentioned in the new RICO case, the rapper and No Jumper host Brick Baby, real name Zaire Mitchell, another 60 that uses the moniker as a street name.
That day he got put on, we came up with the name.
Doesn't matter.
That was like a name that was really made for him. But he can't come in and be big. So being my big homie, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's big, then I'm little. You gonna be baby.
But anyway, following Nipsey's murder, different conspiracy.
You've earned this, so hold it up high and handle chaos with composure, because there
conspiracy theories would begin to spread about his death, suggesting that it might have been more than just a random argument with a low-level Rollin' 60s member. One of these theories being that Big U had somehow been involved in the murder himself, particularly as he would seemingly tell different versions about where he had been the day of the murder, as well as having a motive due to the rumors that Nipsey had allegedly refused to re-sign a contract to be under Big U's label.
And for those who don't know, Big U is said to be responsible for the...
Wait, so he really did the whole 10-year contract? Oh, okay, because it was... Damn. I'm not signing another 10-year contract. I would have been like, no. Like, I would... Bro, the whole point of a contract is you wait till it's over. Like, I'm not re-signing.
Death of Nipsey Hussle. This is what a lot of people are saying.
The hell?
And it's because he keeps changing his story about the day that Nipsey Hussle died.
We actually was on 6th Ave with 100 cars. We got all
Yeah,
the
that I
streets,
find a
everybody
little
who can't
crazy.
come out the house.
Because my
Everybody
stories
film
never
going on.
change.
They
Why
pay,
do
they
other
pay.
people's stories change?
We flying up there. We fly up there and we see the scene.
And then, like, later on, he would forget he said that. And then he'd go on live on IG and say that he wasn't even in town the day that Nipsey died.
Y'all was accusing me of I ain't even do. And what's funny, I wasn't even in town. So figure that one out. But I ain't gonna trust it.
And Nipsey Hussle was signed to Big U, to Big U's record label, and that contract was due to be up, and Nipsey Hussle wasn't going to re-sign. So that provided motive, okay?
By signing to it, it was signed to a 10-year production contract, which started in 2009, which would end 2019.
Crazy.
Big U reportedly also didn't attend Nipsey's funeral, and an IG Live sometime after the murder would appear to show Big U laughing when somebody commented justice for Nip, and going on to say that people are waiting for him to do an interview.
Justice for Nip.
Your boy would have been there like, yeah, you got it.
You did. You did.
However, the day after Nipsey was killed, Big U would post what seemed to be a heartfelt tribute to Nipsey, with a caption that said how hurt he was at the news, whilst also interestingly pointing out that the last time he spoke to Nipsey was 3 days ago at the DJ Khaled video shoot, something that no one really publicly knew at that time, with Big U saying in the caption that when they were at the video shoot together, they had spoken about building a school, which some have taken as Big U actually trolling, given the fact that it was rumored that a much more tense conversation had taken place at that shoot. Even back then, people were getting straight in the comments on Big U's post, saying that he was the one who set Nipsey up to get killed. And as time went on, Big U would post more tributes to Nipsey to his Instagram page, with yet more comments continuing to reference a possible setup and the DJ Khaled music video. Less than a week after Nipsey's murder, Big U took to Instagram to announce a peace march in the hood in Nipsey's memory.
Greetings, everybody. To get this message today, we are having a vigil for Nipsey Hussle at 3 to 5 today for all the different gangs in LA that want to come out and support. Over the last 2 days, we have been having meetings amongst us, 8 Trays, Rollin' 60s, Hoovers, East Coasters, Bounty Hunters, and everybody like mine to come together. We're going to ask that everybody come to Crenshaw and Slauson, be there by 3. We want everybody to park in the Rouse parking lot. We're going to be escorting everybody from the Rouse parking lot to the memorial. It's not open to the public. It's only for LA street gangs, Bloods, Crips with the like mind and want to support and pay homage to one of our lost soldiers, one of our good brothers and teachers and leaders. So it's open from 3 to 5.
And this indeed went ahead. Over a year after Nipsey was killed, Big U proudly showed off that he had met and recorded a podcast with DJ Khaled and Fat Joe, posting a video where he seemed to be very happy to be with DJ Khaled, specifically with Khaled returning the love and shouting out Big U.
That's right, love, Big U.
There you go. That's Lizzie.
And clips were posted by Big U's label, Unique Music, with captions saying that they miss Nipsey. After Nipsey's death, there was a post on Unique Music's Instagram page claiming that Big U was the person who had introduced Nipsey to the world, but people in the comments would continue to claim that Big U was responsible for what happened, once again suggesting that Nipsey was set up by Big U for trying to leave him behind. After Nipsey's death, Big U posted Nipsey along with references to his unique label numerous times, including one ominous post where he put up a video of Nipsey saying that he can't follow other people, they should be following him.
Blind can't lead the blind, bro.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
gotta have a vision.
Yes, sir.
And you gotta follow who got the vision. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
if you
sir.
stuck on stupid, I ain't gonna judge you or have no disrespect for you, but I'm
gonna be over here.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna follow you or take heed to your opinion. You're gonna have to follow what I'm doing.
I heard
And
that.
after a while, that way of thinking versus this way of thinking, more people lean toward this way because of the results.
And in the 2025 indictment, it was claimed that in a monitored conversation, Big U even suggested that he was the biggest
Shut
Rolling
up,
60
Dark
member
Corner.
ever,
Go away
specifically
then.
saying that he was bigger
How do you
than
not
Nipsey
like my
Hussle.
voice?
But despite the
I'm not.
passing
Well,
years,
I'm not here
the
to make
rumors
you
of
like
Big U's
it.
involvement never went
Go
away,
away.
and people online would
Yo, I
continue
just
to
got a text
speculate
message that
endlessly
really
about
pissed me
potential
off.
conspiracy surrounding Nipsey's passing. Big U would comment on the rumors directly on numerous occasions, like in a 2022 No Jumper appearance, where he said that he was just
gonna be alright.
associated with the murder of Nipsey because he's a very famous Rolling 60s member, and suggesting that he had a great relationship with Nipsey, and people are just spreading the rumor for money and clout.
Like how we was beefing when all his songs, every album he put out, since we had the so-called altercation, he shouted me out.
However, in 2024, Nipsey's brother Black Sam would do a podcast with Big Boy, alluding to someone being sent to kill Nipsey, rather than this just being an isolated crash out.
It is random as what the public thought it was. Like, Nipsey and somebody, Eric, and talked, and...
I mean, you know, he already got convicted, so... For me, without going into too many details, so for me, he felt he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever. It just don't make no sense. It's not random, you know. It's gonna come to the light.
Loose Cannon, a former ally of Big U and one of the co-defendants in the upcoming case, actually revealed on No Jumper that Big U had told him Nipsey was dead before it even happened, with Loose Cannon saying that Big U had prior knowledge of Nipsey's death before it all went down, mentioning it on the phone to him, which led him to call Nipsey Hussle moments before the shooting took place.
He FaceTimed me. So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. So I'm like, sick, so I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey, and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone, and I was like, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that.
Did you tell him the call you just got, or you didn't even mention it?
I didn't mention it. And that's what fucked me up, because my cousin is Nipsey baby mama. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, I could have probably stopped it, or it had it.
Stop what? You mean, that?
No, because listen, so after I talked to Nipsey and I was like, yeah, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that, I'll see you later or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey. And so I'm like...
Wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, called Nip. Nip answered the phone.
Yeah, and
you like
just talking on regular, so it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
you don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so fucked up. It'd be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
and
just
30
never
minutes after you get off the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
This clip actually led to a cease and desist being served on No Jumper, and Adam22 being advised to remove the content from his channel.
So everybody knows I got a cease and desist about the Loose Cannon interview that I did with Rack 100, and a cease and desist showed up from the one and only. Never thought my life would go in this direction. Never thought I would be getting a legal notice from the big man himself.
Oh,
Big
yeah, I just seen
you.
Big U said he ain't feeling that
Big
shit.
Yusufer.
Big
Yusufer. Is that a diss? I think that's a whack term. I don't want to say that. So from our perspective, we have decided to back away from this. This is not a narrative that I was really interested in pushing in the first place. The idea that Big U had any sort of, criminal doings in his adult life, or that he was involved with anything with Nipsey. This is not something I ever really bought in on. It was kind of a surprise to me that it got trotted out on the podcast. I don't have to make this kind of statement about why we decided to remove it or whatever, but I did ultimately make the decision to take it down.
Interestingly though, when the 2025 criminal complaint dropped, it would turn out that Loose Cannon wasn't just anybody claiming Big U's involvement, but he was in fact an alleged former enforcer for Big U, conducting robberies on his behalf as part of an extortion racket later described by the criminal complaint as Big U Enterprises. But even more crazy, even before the criminal complaint revealed these bombshell allegations, Loose Cannon would openly tell stories about these robberies that he did for Big U on the No Jumper podcast for the whole world to hear.
Yo, it's crazy because at the time I wasn't really watching No Jumper like every day. So when they had that, it was shocking, but I didn't understand why it was so shocking. I'm like, wait, if this happened years ago, why is this getting just brought up now? But now, like now that I know everything and I see why it was such a big deal, but at that time I didn't understand how is it even possible that this information came years later? Because people been having like, you know, theories about what happened, and it's like, why is it? I just felt at the time like, why is it that every year there's a new narrative? But
when the 2025 criminal complaint dropped on Big U, the world will be introduced to a dark trail of alleged crimes. But the complaint itself wraps up all of these activities under one umbrella organization, with the so-called Big U enterprise allegedly engaging in an array of criminal activity, including extortion, robbery, murder, human trafficking, wire fraud, bank fraud, other financial crimes, obstruction of justice, illegal debt collection, illegal gambling, and conspiracy to commit fraud. Some of these crimes seem absolutely crazy in the modern day.
Pluralsight Professional Services. Align tech learning directly to business priorities. Customize upskilling plans with subject matter experts. Plus, get built-in support. Pluralsight handles all. License distribution, user troubleshooting, and usage data analytics, so you can focus on team transformation. Learn more at pluralsight.com.
Keep being lazy about cleaning your apartment. No, seriously. Home Aglow will clean it for just $9. Home Aglow washes and folds your laundry, organizes your cabinets, cleans your fridge, and oven wipes down your windows. They'll even do the dishes you keep avoiding, all for only $9. Seriously, you just choose the date, time, and cleaner, and they'll show up and clean your entire house for only $9. Keep procrastinating or solve the problem right now. Click the link to make the easiest decision ever.
And make you think more of the Black Hand Mafia extortion scene in the Godfather movies than gangbangers in South Central LA. In fact, Big U actually previously referred to his life as a modern-day mafia story, but things were much more complicated than that, because to cloak this alleged criminal activity, according to the complaint, Big U's non-profit was at the front and center, and this, along with his persona he presented to the public as a reformed gang member, actually allowed Big U to navigate both the criminal underworld and the halls of legitimate power and business at the same time. His non-profit umbrella organization, Developing Options, which controls a number of seemingly innocent entities attempting to do positive work in the community, actually received over $500,000 from the GRID program controlled by the City of LA, with a total of over $2.3 million from the City of LA being handed over, hundreds of thousands of which Big U allegedly withdrew personally as a salary. He would also allegedly embezzle funds that were meant for community work, in a practice where he would solicit donations from celebrities for his charities, then taking the money for himself personally. The criminal complaint later called Big U's organizations a front and part of a plan for Big U to control the streets of LA undercover. And according to wiretaps, Big U's persona as a reformed community activist was just a facade, and behind the scenes, he was openly claiming how he was still the same man that they said he once was. Big U was also heard on a wiretap saying that no one can beef with him because he'd kill them. Apparently, even later bragging to someone about being the only gangster from his era still murdering people in the modern day and age. Big U's alleged right-hand man, an enforcer, and underboss was a man named Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay, with Mark Martin, aka Bearclaw, being a trusted lieutenant. Big U's name and crew pulled a lot of weight and called a lot of shots in LA for decades, particularly when it came to the nightlife. There's one infamous story about Big U getting into a fight outside of a nightclub in 2014 and a rumored deadly wave of violence and extortion that came soon after. In a video posted by TMZ, Big U is seen trying to enter a club with his friend who's being turned away, who then attacks the security. Big U decides to back up his friend, getting into the fight and ending up being floored by the Samoan security team, being left bloodied and carried away by the police.
Close it up. Hey, close it up. Get him inside. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out right now. Go. Get him out. Be cool. Just be cool. I don't want him in this. I don't. Get out. All right, cool. Get him out here. Back up. You, come on. You.
Big U, you straight, girl? Huh? No, he just swung at my dog. Leave him on the ground. No, he goes to jail. He goes to jail tonight. Hey guys, back up. Come on, what are you doing?
Big U later claimed that he had gone head-to-head with 15 Samoan security guards.
At the supper club up here. We was going in. It's only 30, 40 minutes left for the club. This dude hired something, the homeboy out. Yeah, they won't let him in. I'm like, I'm gonna stay out here with him. He just get off on the security guard for no apparent reason. Get off, meaning? He just fired on the dude. Oh! Get off, you gonna go. All the security together is me by myself. Big U, you straight, girl? So I made the assessment. It's 15 of them. You fit to get your whooped.
10 out of 10 friends say you have to go to that new place, which you have 0 time for. Fortunately, DoorDash knows all your neighborhood hotspots. Shake up your dinner routine. Order with DoorDash.
At Wayfair, we're game for every style.
Let's play charades. I'll act out my favorite chair. Got it. All right, ready?
Yep.
This one rocking chair.
Velvet Tufted Chaise Lounger.
This is charades. Loungers are off limits.
Well, there's no rule about adding it to my cart.
It's a great deal.
It's Barrel Swivel Chair.
Yes!
Boom!
Wow. Not my first charades.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
But how the rules go, I'm gonna get down where I'm mad at. I took flight. So when I'm on the ground, I'm wrestling with one dude came and kicked me. If you look at the film, he kicked me in the side of the face. Back up. Come on. Hey, give me one fight diving over here. Back up, man. So the blood, while I'm on my back, wrestling with the blood filter in my eyes. I couldn't see. Hey, guys, back up. Come on, what are you doing? I think I did pretty good, me versus 15. You know what I'm saying?
Big U would also claim that in the aftermath, hundreds of goons from different gangs came to Hollywood following that incident to back him up.
And dudes from every set in LA really stood up and was offended by what they had seen. My homies is Bloods, that's Cuz, that's from every set was upset.
In a subsequent video, Big U was seen bloodied and in cuffs as rappers The Game and T.I., along with Big U's son and an army of 6'0s, square up to the police, initially believing that it was the police that brutalized Big U.
Are you trigger happy too? You trigger happy? TMZ, put it on. TMZ, hey, get the camera on Big U. Hey, listen, check out Big U right now. Police didn't do it. Security did it. Hey, T.I. Who did it? T.I. Police didn't do it. T.I. Security did it. Who did it? Security did it.
But after the crowd realized that the security were responsible for jumping Big U, they began to confront and scuffle with the security, with one of the people personally involved in beating up Big U taking off running from the mob.
Who did that to you? Who did that to you? Please. Who touched Big U?
Hey, Scott, I got you.
Then, rapper The Game even squares up to security himself, ready to fight.
Look at Game sweating the security right now and the police.
Then, what sounded like young Rollin' 60s members ready to crash out would escalate things further, looking for those responsible and saying that they had never seen Big U in that sort of state, with everyone trying to remove them from the situation before things escalate and get deadly.
I'm talking to you. 6-0 trip. I ain't never seen no like that.
It's a whole Mexican standoff right now. We got a whole Mexican standoff with Games crew and the police.
The gang would still try and square up to the security, who is saying that Big U has to go to jail tonight.
Watch your back, watch your back.
The whole situation was a mess, and according to one rumor, this actually led to a gang war between the Rolling 60s, backed up by other gangs, and the Samoan security gangs that run the nightclub doors in Hollywood, with Big U saying in his Hip Hop Uncovered series how things got so serious that 4 to 5 people were expected to die over this, with some Redditors even taking this to mean that 5 people had indeed lost their lives as part of this beef.
There was a lot of violence against just clubs and security against clubs, and people expected for 5 people to die. We got so many people dying over bullcrap. I didn't really want to add to that. That's not the legacy I wanted to have. That was a misunderstanding, you know what I mean? Went too far. So we ended up shutting Hollywood down. We had to meet with the powers that be.
Now, I wasn't able to find any evidence or cases relating to murders that happened in Hollywood following this incident, but apparently after things reached a boiling point in the streets, the Supper Club and Big U had a meeting to try and resolve things. This ended in the Supper Club allegedly cutting Big U a check for $200,000 and doing a food drive for his community movement.
You know, we had sat down with the owners of the Supper Club. They wrote me a check for over $200,000. We used about $70,000 to $80,000 to do a food giveaway, toys. It was amazing.
The Supper Club's giving all these free toys and food. They're underprivileged, right? And so I start talking to Big U, the organizer of the event. How come the Supper Club was so keen to be involved?
Well, we've been messing with them since back in, you know,
Easter is on sale at Michael's. Shop 50% off floral and decor to spruce up your space. Create sweet traditions with deals on baskets, DIY crafts for the family, Easter baking supplies, and more. Plus, earn rewards while you shop.
Look, when it comes to running a small business, I'm the creative director. Just a little bit to the right. The videographer, the lighting technician, of course the talent, and action. And of course I do the finances, which means I do the taxes. Taxes? 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 Don't worry. We've actually partnered with TurboTax Live Business to show everyone how easy taxes really can be. TurboTax Business pairs you with a business tax expert that knows exactly what you need to maximize industry-specific deductions. So do yourself a favor and let the TurboTax experts handle it this year.
Incident we had, you know, they want to reach back, reach out to help the community. For me, being able to take something bad that happened for me and turn it into a positive, instead of continue to let it be a negative, that's what I'm all about.
Supper Club later put out a public statement suggesting that Big U was the victim of a rogue security officer who took things too far, saying that Big U was not arrested and had no part in the violence, with club owners distancing themselves from the security that were working that night and promising that they would never book them again. Clearly, Big U was flesh and blood, like any man, and could also be caught slipping. But just as clearly from what came after, he was a formidable force in the streets who wouldn't accept this kind of violation lightly, and nightclubs would seemingly be a regular target for extortion attempts by the Big U enterprise. The 2025 criminal complaint would outline a situation where Big U shook down club owners, promising them T.I. and Wiz Khalifa to turn up to an event in exchange for 33% of the profits. These artists never turned up, but Big U demanded a $30,000 payment from the club, plus more of the profits, despite not keeping up his end of the deal, with a taped recording depicting Big U pressing the club owner and promising to tear the club up if he didn't get what he wanted, apparently vowing to bring 5,000 Rolling 60s members to destroy their club if he wasn't paid the money, and famous people weren't safe either. The criminal complaint would mention a litany of celebrities and athletes that had paid Big U a checking-in fee when coming to LA, checking in being an extortion method that out-of-town people often fall into, as they're pressured to get into contact with the local gang members, this often involving payments for protection and to not get robbed. The criminal complaint explained that checking in was a street tax that had to be paid to guarantee safety from gangs and criminals in the city, and according to the complaint, the Big U enterprise claimed control of LA and expected to collect tax from entertainers in the city conducting certain types of legit or illegal business. The criminal complaint outlined an incident where boxer Adrian Broner and his friends were part of a fixed dice game against some NBA players, who then checked in with Big U and allegedly paid him $100,000, after which Big U gathered his goons and went to confront Broner, allegedly roughing him up along with his friends for not checking in and for apparently cheating NBA players out of their money. But even as far back as 2020, people on Reddit would debate why Big U pretends to be a reformed gang member whilst also openly enforcing the checking in extortion method publicly. People knew that he was living a double life years ago, and this was an open secret in LA. Big U would even be seen in video clips on social media going to film sets where he had apparently forced the production to check in with him, saying that if they didn't, he would be taking all of their equipment.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, y'all, man. Top flight, baby. Yeah. GB running this here movie set in the hood. Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting these movies done. You better know it. Sure. Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't, check it in. Oh, well. Let's go check your We're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check it all of your equipment. We're gonna check it all of your equipment.
Big U was openly the gatekeeper for LA check-ins, warning out-of-towners in numerous clips that if you choose not to check in, you're not safe and you'll suffer the consequences, as well as saying that he too checks in when going to other cities.
When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in. And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry, who real killers. Like, who really real killers. Like, if he ever find out who did that, he gonna knock everybody down. You understand what I'm saying? You just caught slipping. You know, that's how it is. You know what I mean? And you try your best not to be slipping. And if you have the means not to, why do it? You know what I mean? And it's just about, sometimes it's about respecting, you know, yourself and then trying to get home. So, I mean, you know, I hear a lot of back and forth on that. But, I mean, I don't know that it's a perfect answer other than me, myself, I check in.
But it appeared that Big U even had issues with podcasters like Gilly and Wallow of $1 Million worth of game.
Gilly and Wallow, they got a problem. I couldn't have Philly. Them the only two dudes I'm looking for. I got no problem with nobody else, no beef with nobody else but Gilly and Wallow right now.
Whack one. And Loose Cannon would both tell academics that the Rolling 60s, on the orders of Big U, once stripped Gilly and his son and sold their jewelry for $100,000, with Whack 100 also revealing that Nipsey Hussle allegedly ended up giving Gilly $20,000 back because he felt bad for him.
Man, you better ask Gilly. Gilly
no?
No, Gilly got stripped down by the homies because of Big U.
Wait, Gilly?
Yeah, the homie Rose and them stripped.
A superior smooth taste, worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
We're talking about Gilly the Kid. We're talking about the guy with the podcast. We're talking about $1 million worth of game.
He got his son stripped down, and they stripped down Gilly.
What do you? For what? Like what? What do you mean? Gilly never got robbed though.
Yeah, him and his son got stripped. They stripped him in the 60s. Big U lined them up. They stripped him, took all their jewelry. And did it, came on the stage and said he did it. And get mad at me like I did it. I ain't did it. I ain't do it. I went, man.
No.
What mad at me for?
Gilly official from Philly, man. Gilly not going like that.
Gilly was not got his hands up in the muck there with his 2 kids. A father that couldn't protect his 2 kids. That's what he is. I told that, look, bro, don't be popping at me. Because with another saying, nigga, that a Rolling 60 crip for real. Everybody know that is. He telling you, Big, you lined your punk ass up. Now, if you got your ass robbed over there, you and your kids, he said Nipsey went over there and gave it $20,000 because he felt bad for him.
However, it seems that whatever may have happened, Gilly would repair the relationship with Big U, as they could later be seen acting very friendly with each other. But no one was safe from the Rolling 60s extortion racket. But it seemed that the biggest targets were grey market businesses that couldn't rely on the law to protect them, particularly unlicensed smoke shop dispensaries, with Big U and his henchmen allegedly running an extortion racket where they would charge protection money to a store and rob them if they didn't pay up. In some cases, robbing them and giving some of the proceeds back if they agreed to line up other robberies and to prove what they were capable of doing. Footage of one armed dispensary robbery allegedly carried out by Rolling 60s on a dispensary that happened to be owned by Nipsey Hussle and Black Sam would even circulate on Reddit, and this is where Loose Cannon enters the picture. According to some sources, Loose Cannon, real name Tremaine Ashley Williams, had a tough upbringing in South Central LA, losing his father to a death sentence in prison. Loose found himself deep in the politics of LA streets and prison yards, eventually turning to the music business as a producer, making beats for people around him like Nipsey and Draco the Ruler, before turning to rapping himself, collaborating with Nipsey Hussle during his come-up, and allegedly almost getting signed by none other than Dr. Dre, who, according to Loose, produced his song Bringin' California Back featuring Nipsey Hussle and YG. But in the end, Dr. Dre ended up signing Kendrick Lamar, as he considered him to be the safer choice who didn't have as many potentially disruptive ties to the streets.
Some piece in it, man.
Yeah.
You had a record with him in 2013,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Bringing California Back, produced by Dr. Dre, featuring YG.
Hold on, you said produced by Dre.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Like Andre Young.
Yeah.
Oh, worked with Dre?
Yeah.
How closely did you work with Dre on that? You just got the beat, or you were able to link with him?
When I went to jail, it was like he wanted to sign me or whatever. It was me, Nip, and Kendrick Lamar. So at the end of the day, he was like, y'all getting people getting killed out there. I don't want to be around with this gangbang. I learned my lesson from dealing with the last situation, and he chose Kendrick Lamar.
That makes sense.
However, in another early interview, Luce would also imply that he was in fact the producer of the song, making the melody of the beat with a church piano while being locked up.
So you basically wrote everything. Did you produce that track too, right?
Yeah, I produced it. I did everything.
So when you're in jail, how were you able to kind of make that beat?
They had church, right?
Okay.
I used to go in the church, use some keyboards like that. That's how I did it. And it came out dope. So.
No, for real. I remember that was the first song I actually heard, that you created and that you were in. I was like, hell yeah, this is dope as hell, because you had YG and Nipsey, and it was about, bringing Cali back, the hardcore, just kind of a party vibe with it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just when I do music, and people don't even understand the hook, me singing on it, rapping. I did so it's I do everything. I make it easier for other artists.
Perhaps the beat might have been a collaboration between Luce and Dre, although according to a poster that was posted by Luce himself, the producer is tagged as Buckwheat on the beat, but perhaps this version was a remake. But anyway, Luce has indeed allegedly racked up production credits and writing credits on projects with numerous major artists like Rihanna, Snoop Dogg, The Game, Nas, and 50 Cent. And he supposedly even worked as the opening act for Drake and 21 Savage during their It's All a Blur tour, although he's not included in the Wikipedia page about the tour for some reason. These discrepancies seem to raise some interesting questions about Luce's background or lack thereof. In fact, according to Luce's twin brother, Jermaine Williams, much of Luce Cannon's alleged music production credits are actually not true at all.
Even though he has a little bit of music on his platform, he's got the Draco song, he's got the Nipsey song, he has claimed all kind of music success with people that I know for a fact he doesn't even know.
You call this a party?
Your mower smokes meat?
No, a smoker cuts grass.
Awesome. It is awesome.
It is awesome.
No, it's awesome.
I agree. It's really awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
He don't know Nas, but the Luce Cannon I know has worked with Nas for probably a decade.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know none of these other people that he's claimed to produce, that he's worked with. Have you heard some of his claims of his music success?
I could only go by what I did for him. He have songs with, Game. He got songs with J-Rock. He got songs with Nip, YG. Songs that I produce. I can't speak on anything that he's produced. I mean, that I heard little clips. People send me little clips. He would have been too young to work with these folks when they was doing their music and they did hits and all that stuff. So if people wants to believe the that he says, it's so be it. All I could do is just say what I did with him.
Moreover, LA YouTuber Street TV, together with guests like the rappers Munchie B and Spider Loke, have claimed that Luce has stolen his entire public persona from an older hip-hop industry insider that also has the name Luce Cannon.
Got me on this Luce Cannon, anti-Luce Cannon, anti-fake Luce Cannon campaign is because I have a personal friend that I've known since, I want to say 13 years old, 14 maybe, that goes by the name Luce Cannon. That's been in the music business since I've known him. That he's introduced me to some of the biggest rappers that I've ever met. I met them through the real Luce Cannon.
Because you guys, I believe this is the reason why Luce Coochie Lips Cannon chose Luce Cannon as a name to run with, because of the credits that were already attached to it and the lack of a parent profile that was so obvious. Because if you from rolling anything, especially 60s, I don't care if it's 90s, 40s, 30s, anything, and you have a name that includes O's, to eliminate the O's is so contrary to what we do when we play with words and represent what we represent. He had to take that name for the purpose of receiving the exact same credit that your partner was getting.
The real Loose Cannon hit me up during the MySpace years.
That's what it was, MySpace.
And he asked me, who is this dude, Loose Cannon? He's supposed to be from 60s. And I remember I think he called Steve Lobel because he knew Steve Lobel was tapped into the 6-0s. And he said that, I think Steve Lobel told him that, it ain't nobody, there's nothing to worry about.
My mama, dad, homies, daughters, lokes, loved ones, everything I love and live for, my sister and my sons. Just the same thing I did. It wasn't Steve, but I hollered at Big U. He called me back with the exact same report, bro. Back in 06, when I ran across this mother content of Loose Coochie Lips Cannon lying on me, claiming he had met me and disrespected me, and I had no idea he existed.
Oh, you don't say, cuz, you not no crip.
Look how far he would go. That's why you guys know. He been trying this since 06.
Normally, I wouldn't care.
Right.
But I grew up with the real Loose Cannon.
Right.
The real Loose Cannon is getting calls all the time about what this dude is doing, about claims that he's been with other celebrities that the real Loose Cannon never been with. So he's got to take these calls. Nah, I never did a song for 50 Cent. He has worked with Nas. He has worked with some major dudes.
Right.
This dude, the fake dude, is just putting it all out there.
Robbing dispensaries is one thing, but robbing song credits and your entire career history is just wild. But Luce's former partner, Jasmine Gigi Adams, also told Street TV that Luce has told many outlandish lies about himself, painting him as a possible pathological liar.
Tremaine, he kind of gets you into a place. I mean, it's real intense. When he first meets you, as you guys can all see, I'm sure, from the interviews that everybody has seen, the lies are outlandish, and he's very good at, when he's outed for the lies, he'll come up with an even bigger lie. And then he's got, little minions around him to support the lies, and then, next thing you know, you don't know what to believe, even though you have the proof in front of your face.
Okay, all right. How about Nas?
No, Nas is cool.
Okay, yeah, what was it like when you were working with him?
It was just like, cuz was gifted a whole nother level. So it was like a different vibe. It was like out of here. It's like a different atmosphere.
What did you do with him?
Produce for him.
Oh, what did you produce?
Doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos freshness, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
The song with him and what's that factory? I produced so many records, I'll be forgetting the damn names.
But I think that was kind of the reason why I stayed, because the fake Tremaine it's not like he had tons of money or anything when I met him. So I think it was more so about myself. It was just me.
When you look back at it, was there anything about him that you actually liked?
He was very persistent. He was very persistent. He was showered you right away with just like flowers, very persistent and, taking you out, kind of just treating you like, like a lady. He never pressured you for sex or anything like that. He was just very persistent, kind of came off as a gentleman. And then, of course, he's, telling you these lavish stories. I own Subways, I own GameStops, I have my life together type thing and stuff like that. And I had my own businesses too. So it was kind of like he makes you feel like you've met your match.
But whatever the case, Loose Cannon would eventually find himself in the podcast world, appearing frequently on LA's leading rap culture podcast, No Jumper, arguably becoming a loose link when it came to the secretive code of the streets. But before Loose had fully transitioned to a more sanitized media presence, he was allegedly towing the line for Big U in the streets, specifically conducting robberies of dispensaries that were being shaken down. According to the criminal complaint, on July the 5th, 2021, a robbery went down at an unlicensed dispensary that had been paying up to $25,000 a month to the Big U enterprise, but they ultimately got tired of being extorted and decided to stop paying up. On that day, 11 thugs were sent to the store, including Loose Cannon personally, with them running into the dispensary with guns and masks, robbing the store of cash, stock, and even sticking up the customers. Apparently during the robbery, one of the masked men put the store owner on the phone with Big U, who invited the victim to his home, and when he arrived there, he found Big U and the robbers with the proceeds of the robbery, telling the victim that he just robbed himself, giving him back some of the stolen things and demanding $10,000 so it doesn't happen again. Now, this is a crazy extortion method as it is, but to make matters even more crazy, years later, after falling out with Big U whilst on the No Jumper podcast, Loose Cannon would discuss this incident openly, saying how he found it strange how Big U would send them out on robberies, and then the victims would later turn up to take their things back.
So basically, it's like, cause he'll be like, he'll manipulate things. Like, we'll go and do something, and as soon as we do it to, show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to, counting everything, right? And we be like, how the they get the, well, we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that, but cause it's actually putting us in paperwork, right?
Luce also claimed that Big U had supplied guns to the homies, but noted down the serial numbers for these guns as collateral.
I've seen it get like 20 guns, and when you got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies, but I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like, he was doing like that, and I didn't catch on. So it was like, I'm waking up now. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm his right-hand man. You get what I'm saying? So when it came down to like dirt and stuff like that, I'm gonna get it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Ultimately, it would seem that Loose Cannon's fallout with Big U was a big contributor to his downfall, as Loose would go on podcasts and lives on his own social media and speak openly about illegal things that he had done under Big U's leadership. Another crazy situation that emerged in the criminal complaint and on a podcast was an apparent run-in with the rapper Meek Mill, where Loose and other 6'0s had allegedly grabbed hold of Meek at a venue and threatened to kill him unless Rick Ross, Meek Mill's label boss, gave them $50,000, which was apparently paid up.
Damn, I missed the whole thing.
On the interview talking about what I did to Meek Mills.
Wait, you did something to Meek Mill?
Oh, Lord.
It said y'all was trying to kidnap him. No, that's cap. There was a Big U portion of it.
Yeah. So basically, Meek Mills was talking real reckless on Twitter and stuff like that. So
talking reckless.
Reckless.
Now.
Yeah, so we caught him at the club where he was performing at. As soon as he walked in or whatever, all the security that was with him, they spent the ring. Grab Cubs. Get on the phone with Ross.
Honey, all right, that's enough now.
We're
not going to tell all the
No,
details.
we gotta hear this one.
I said, get on the phone with Ross.
This one will go viral. What?
Get on the phone with Ross, neighborhood crip. So he got on the phone with Ross. I took the phone.
Damn. Okay, so they're telling me to just. All right, I'm about to go out. So.